Today's devotion is titled Affirmations of Faith, and we're on day 279, and we're on October the 6th. And today's morning rinse is Psalms 16 through 18, and the featured verse for today is Psalms 18:49. Therefore, I will give thanks to you among the nations, O Lord, and I will sing praises to your name. I know that I have spoken about this multiple times on my podcast. Our words have the power to not only transform the lives of others, but they also have the power to transform how we think and how we feel about ourselves and our faith in God. Studies show that our brain will eventually begin to believe and it will eventually begin to affirm the words that we speak. Despite whether they are based on lies or on truth, our brain will start to believe them. And I think about that child saying that says, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And that to me is false. That is a myth. I used to believe it, for a while when I was little, but then, something may have happened or hurt me. And I distinctly remember comparing how I was feeling to that little rhyme, and it just did not mesh. And I truly believe that, that little poem is false. It's not, we can try and say all day long that words don't hurt us, and we can speak that, but they do. Words are powerful, and our brain, if we speak the words enough, will eventually believe it, whether it's a lie or whether it's truthful. And so when facing challenging circumstances or roadblocks is what I call it, if we are not faith-driven in our words, we can cause damage. We can destroy relationships. We can hinder our faith in God. We can even alter our destiny if we are not careful. And I mean, nearly every psalm shows us the writer facing challenges. And yet it's also very clear that they believed in positive affirmations. And you know what? Here's another thing. The other day, I had Pastor Kevin come on here, and we were actually talking about positive affirmations. And it's interesting that just a few days later in my devotional, I have today's topic of affirmations of faith. And I completely forgot about it when I was talking to Pastor Kevin about it, but today's, all about positive affirmations. And, what's other interesting is that, it's just also interesting when you're talking to people who don't necessarily believe in positive affirmations. They think it's kind of hokey. And I have come across people who are like, oh, I don't know. But it's, in my opinion, they are so powerful. Simply put, a positive affirmation is basically a statement to challenge a negative thought. That's what a positive affirmation is. It's a statement that challenges anything that is coming into our mind that's negative, whether it's about us or about other people, or about our faith, or our roadblocks. And so along with the two affirmations that are listed in today's featured verse, there are more positive affirmations in the Psalms. And so I'm going to list those affirmations that we've actually already passed. But I'm going to read the two today that are in the featured verse. Therefore, I will give thanks to you among the nations, O Lord, and I will sing praises to your name. Those positive affirmations are so vital. So let me just go through them really quick. And if you open up your Bible, I would encourage you to mark them some way. Hint, hint, that might be a challenge. But anyway, all right. So Psalm 2, verse 7, It says, I will surely tell the decree of the Lord. Like, I will surely declare, open my mouth and declare the decree of the Lord. Psalm 3, verse 6, I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people. I mean, can you imagine David having to repeat this positive affirmation to him to squelch the negative thought, knowing that thousands of people were trying to find him to kill him. He was saying, I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people. That's a pretty intense positive affirmation there. Then you've got Psalm 5, verse 3. I will order my prayer to you and eagerly watch. Oh my goodness, that one excites me so much. I will order my prayer to you. And I didn't look up the word order, but there's a couple of different thoughts that I have regarding the word order. It could be that he was saying, I will order myself to pray to you and eagerly watch the answers coming to me from my uplift of my prayer. I mean, that to me is probably what he was thinking when he was saying, I will order my prayer to you and eagerly watch. The other thought that I had was potentially making, his prayer very systematic, very not systematic in that, it's a box to check off, but rather it was a habit. I will order my prayer to you and eagerly watch in anticipation of the answers, right? So anyway, I loved that positive affirmation. Okay, so we've got Psalm 9, verse 2. I will be glad and exult in you. And this was one of those positive affirmations that we talked about with Pastor Kevin. Then you've got and there's more in that featured verse. So if you can go back through a few days ago on that featured verse, I think there were 4 in that one verse alone. Okay, and then you've got Psalm 13:5. I have trusted in your loving kindness. Can you just feel how these positive affirmations really can affect our faith? If we say all day long, I have trusted in your loving kindness, it makes me want to trust even more. It builds my faith up when we speak what is in the word. Then we've got Psalm 16:8. I have set the Lord continually before me. That is a really good one too. Telling myself that I have set the Lord continually before me and I'm going to follow after his ways. Straight and narrow, follow him. And then we've got Psalm 17:3. I have purposed that my mouth will not transgress. Okay, what would it be like if this, if our whole community of Christ followers, if we would purpose in our heart that our mouth would not transgress, would not sin, would not do the things that God hates, right? What would it be like? How many lives could we change if we've purposed in our mouth that we will not transgress? So the question is, how does one develop a positive affirmation? How does one do that? And I love when I teach business classes because part of my journey is to go through a vision board. I have created 10 different steps to creating a vision board. And one of those steps is to figure out what your personal roadblock is in life. And so how to develop a positive affirmation is to identify those personal roadblocks. And once you know what those roadblocks are, like say for instance, I struggle with eating sugar. That could be a personal roadblock that I have. But what I can do is look to the word and identify something that I could say that combats that roadblock to make it into a positive affirmation that my brain actually receives. Like, I do not have a habit of eating sugar, or I am not controlled by food. I am instead seeking God's guidance. I will keep Him in front of me. Something like that. So you identify your personal roadblocks. Then the next thing you do is you just create that positive statement, like what I was saying, and that challenges your roadblock, whether it's a personal one, a health one, a spiritual one, a business one, a relationship one, whatever it is. Identify what your personal roadblocks are and create a positive statement that completely is opposite, that challenges that roadblock. Then what you do, once you have that statement or statements, whether, I have multiple of them, but you want to write it down, but you don't just want to write it down kind of haphazardly. You want to write it down in the present tense, like, I will sing praises to God. I will set Him before me. You can see these positive affirmations are all through the book of Psalms. And so you also the last step is to begin with the word I. And the reason why is you want to make it personal. And going back to what studies have shown about the brain, is that you want to personalize it and make it present so that the brain actually believes that it is now and it's truthful. And so if you say these positive affirmations enough, your brain is actually going to believe them, even if you don't yet. Your brain is going to believe them. A positive affirmation, I'll give an example. It's to challenge the roadblock of stress, maybe, and lack of peace. So if you have a roadblock where you are challenged with stress or challenged with the fact that there's just kind of a little bit more chaos in your life than what you would like, then that affirmation would sound something like, I feel at peace today no matter what I face. Or you can even bring, something else in there like, I feel God's peace today walking before me no matter what I face, or whatever that is. So today is really identifying those personal roadblocks that you have that could inhibit you from living that abundant life. Psalm 18:49, the featured verse says, therefore I will give thanks to you among the nations, O Lord, and I will sing praises to your name. And there's two right there. So the challenge to dig deeper today is, they're easy to spot. I've already listed off some of them in here, and look through my past featured verses, especially Psalm 9 and 2 in that area there. But skim through the last 18 Psalms. And what I want you to do is pull out some kind of colored marker or a, ink pen that's maybe colored or something, and skim through the last 18 Psalms and underline all of the positive affirmations that you can find, including the 9 that I have provided for you that I listed off here in today's podcast, including the 2 in our featured verse. But underline them in your Bible. And what I want you to do is, as we go through the book of Psalms, the whole entire month and a half, I want you to take into consideration all of the positive affirmations that you're going to find, because there will be more. So have your pen in, near your Bible or whatever. Skim through the first 18 Psalms, and you'll be able to see them, because I think most of them start with the word I, but you'll be able to tell that they're positive affirmations that David and the psalmists are speaking to themselves about. So that challenge is to go ahead and underline them, have them in some kind of colored ink so that you know that they are positive affirmations. And then from this point forward, all the way through to the end of Psalms, I want you to continue underlining any affirmations that we read through the Psalms. And I will try to remind you once in a while, but that is kind of like your Psalms challenge for this whole entire next month and a half, is underline all of those positive affirmations that the psalmists write. Now, as you're prepping for, what's ahead, I want you to write down 10 affirmations for yourself. That may be that you have, identified 10 roadblocks that you have. Or if you don't have necessarily 10 roadblocks that, you are facing, maybe you will do 2 positive affirmations for 1 roadblock. Maybe you've only, identified 5 roadblocks that you really, really battle with a lot. Well, then write 2 positive affirmations for each one of those roadblocks. And so write them down. Write 10 affirmations for yourself. And the reason why I want you to write them down is because I want you to say them out loud several times. And I want you to repeat that list anytime that you need to. But you also want to not only repeat this list, but you want to add to the list as often as you need. So for instance, you might absolutely conquer one of the roadblocks that you are writing affirmations about. But another roadblock has come and you need to redo the thing. So revising your list and adding another affirmation would be the ideal situation. So this list of affirmations can be so powerful and so, inspirational, really. And your brain is then going to continue to believe what you say versus anything that, is combating that, or any negativity that is combating that. So that is your challenge, is identifying your roadblocks and then creating at least 10 affirmations for yourself, even if it's a couple for each roadblock. And make sure that you identify the positive affirmations that are already in the Psalms, and continue with that mindset. Have your pen out for, the rest of the Psalms, because there will be more. All right. And so then as you're pulling out your journal tonight, and as you've finished with this, I want to know about those affirmations. So when you pull out your journal and you're starting to write it, before you go to sleep tonight, I want you to say your personal affirmations one more time. And this daily practice is going to teach you how to become an affirmer of faith, for really both for yourself and for other people. And so I want you to write down what your thoughts are regarding positive affirmations. Did I kind of change your mind? Were you one of those people that was kind of skeptical about positive affirmations? Were you one of those people that really didn't practice positive affirmations? Or were you, somebody, or are you somebody that, has done them in the past? You just needed to get rebooted and redo them again. Just write down your thoughts about this, because if you continually say positive affirmations over the next year, you never know where your business is, where your life, where your faith will be after a year. So write down your thoughts. I hope today inspired you to really take to heart how that our words are so powerful, and what we say out loud can revolutionize our thought pattern and things that we believe, even about ourselves. And so I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts and really gleaning from some of the things that you have learned about this. So go ahead and do all of those things. And I love positive affirmations. And this also links to the vision board that I talked about, where people will, face their roadblocks and create those affirmations and say them every single day so that they can be accomplished. All right. If you have not gotten my devotional, go down to the show notes. There's a link there. And if you do not have a journal, but you want the companion journal that goes with this devotional, then the link is also in the show notes as well. It's a little bit of a different journal. It's not your standard just blank paper journal. What I've got is the evening reflection, and I've also got the featured verse for the day in this journal. So if you buy the journal and you have no idea what this journal is all about, you'll probably be like, what is this? So it is truly a companion journal for my devotional, and the link is also in the show notes. So I look forward to continually walking through Psalms together with you guys. And of course, I hope that you guys enjoyed the last few guests that I've had, kicking off some of the thoughts regarding Psalms. And so I hope that you enjoyed that. And until tomorrow, keep rinsing, reflecting, and repeating. God bless you.